Hello, you are most welcome. I'm teacher Ivan from WUNNA Educational Services. I welcome you to our next lesson. We are still looking at the Senior 1 Physics calculations, and our first chapter is measurements. So, under measurements, we are looking at how we convert units of measurements. We started with the units of length. We also continue to units of area. In today's lesson, we shall be looking at the units of volume. But before we look at how we convert units of volume, let us first understand what volume is. Volume is simply the amount of space occupied by an object, and volume is measured in cubic meters as its SI units. However, we also have other units of volume, which include cubic kilometers, cubic hectometers, cubic decameters, cubic decimeters, cubic centimeters, and cubic millimeters. We also have liters and milliliters. These are the commonly used units of volume. So we shall be looking at how we convert from one to another. Before we look at conversion, let us also look at how we measure volume. Volume is measured using various instruments. Among those, we have the pipettes, we have the burettes, we have the calibrated beakers, we have calibrated test tubes, we have volumetric flasks, among other apparatuses. We also get volume of a liquid using a measuring cylinder. We can also get volume of a regular shaped object by measuring its dimensions and applying a specific formula. But for an irregular object, we shall use either displacement method or the overflow can method. For volume of air, we shall just leave an empty clean measuring cylinder open. That means it is filled with air, and as we pour in water, the water will replace the volume of air, and therefore the volume of the water will be equal to the volume of the air displaced. So that is an introduction on volume. So let us now look at how we convert units of volume. We shall use our formula of King Herod, your daughter Mary drank cold milk. This one guides us on how to convert from one unit to another. This one is a general formula. It works for length, area, volume, and mass. So from that formula, we realize that 1 kilometer is equivalent to 10 hectometer, also equivalent to 100 decameter, equivalent to 1,000 millimeters, among others. Also, 1 hectometer is equivalent to 10 decameter, 100 meters, 1,000 decimeters, among others. So this is the formula that we use to guide us on how we convert from one unit to another. So from the above formula, we realize that 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. What about 1 kilometer cubed? Because we've seen that our units of volume are in the third degree or cubed. The units are always cubed. So therefore, we shall cube the kilometer and also cube the other side. So since 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters, what about 1 kilometer cubed? So 1 kilometer cubed will equal to 1 billion cubic meters, because as we cube this side, we also cube the other side. We cube by simply multiplying 3 times. So that gives us 1 cubic kilometers equivalent to 1 billion cubic meters. But what if we want to convert from meters cubed to kilometers cubed? So we shall divide both sides by 1 billion, and we shall end up with the 1 meter cubed being equivalent to 1 over 1 billion cubic kilometers. And therefore, while converting from meter cubed to kilometer cubed, we shall always divide our given units or our given figures by 1 billion. That is when converting from meter cubed to kilometer cubed. Let us look at also how we convert from meter cubed to centimeter cubed. So when converting from meter cubed to centimeter cubed, we shall first of all get the equivalence of 1 meter in terms of centimeters. So 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters, meaning that 1 meter cubed will be equivalent to 1 million cubic centimeters, because we cube both sides by multiplying 3 times. So that gets us 1 cubic meter equaling to 1 million cubic centimeters. However, when I want to convert from centimeter cubed to meter cubed, I'll first divide this by 1 million on both sides, so that I end up with 1 centimeter cubed being equivalent to 1 over 1 million cubic meters. And therefore, I'll have 1 centimeter cubed equaling to 1 over 1 million cubic meter. That is if I'm converting from centimeter cubed to meter cubed. Then lastly, if I'm to convert from centimeter to millimeter, I will have 1 centimeter equaling to 10 millimeters. But if I want to convert from centimeter cubed to millimeter cubed, then I'll first cube both sides by multiplying each 3 times to get me 1 centimeter cubed equals to 1,000 millimeters cubed. So, but if I want to convert from millimeter cubed to centimeter cubed, I'll first divide by 1,000 on both sides, and I'll have 1 millimeter cubed equaling to 1 over 1,000 centimeters cubed. So whenever I'm converting from millimeter cubed to centimeter cubed, I'll always divide my values by 1,000, because I'm converting from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, therefore I divide. So that is how we convert units of volume. In our next lesson, we shall be looking at the examples, and we shall also have some trial numbers. Otherwise, I'm Teacher Ivan from WUNNA Educational Services. Please join us on all the social media apps so that we learn together. Bye-bye.